No one realized that just 12 hours after BTS completed their global comeback concert and kicked off a new world tour, the group was suddenly hit with three major challenges. Recent media reports confirmed that Bang Si-hyuk, the founder of HYBE, BTS's parent company, was arrested by the police for allegedly illegally profiting around $130 million. An arrest warrant has been officially issued. This event occurred at a critical moment, right after BTS completed their global comeback performance and began their new world tour. Although BTS remains one of the largest and most influential music groups in the world, this incident undoubtedly had a significant impact on them. The first member affected was Jungkook. He is currently preparing for his first global tour and had been relying heavily on Bang Si-hyuk's guidance. However, with the arrest, HYBE's funding chain was disrupted, and many brand partners and investors paused their collaboration with him. This forced Jungkook to adjust his tour plans on his own. Next was Kim Tae-hyung. He is working on transitioning into acting, while also creating his first solo album and participating in film projects. Many creative decisions that were originally made by Bang Si-hyuk were left unsupported, and HYBE was unable to effectively help him move his career forward, putting pressure on him in the process. Most importantly, BTS had originally planned to perform in 34 cities worldwide later this year. However, after the scandal broke, several sponsors chose to withdraw their financial support. This led to the cancellation of several concert stops, leaving fans disappointed and distant from the group.
Did you notice that Roman Reigns' eldest daughter, Joella Noai, only hugged him for a second before immediately letting go? This reveals Roman Reigns' plans for his retirement. Here are the three key aspects behind it. At WrestleMania 42, Roman defeated CM Punk to officially become the new World Heavyweight Champion. However, some fans noticed that when Roman hugged his daughter, Joella, she seemed unhappy. This moment sparked discussions online and hinted at the future direction of Roman's career. First, Joella has been part of Roman's life since she was young. She knows very well that this victory is just a prelude to Roman's retirement. Her indifferent attitude reflects her sadness about her father's impending retirement. Additionally, Roman seems to prefer closer contact with his two sets of twins. Having focused on his career for so long, Roman now desires to retire and return to family life, enjoying intimate moments with his children. Finally, Roman has repeatedly hinted that he plans to retire in 2027, especially considering his long-standing injuries and family responsibilities. Therefore, his decision to retire at this peak moment fits perfectly with his personal narrative. What do you think?
Did you notice the green dress Maddie wore at Cassie's wedding? It wasn't just eye-catching, it also hinted that Cassie's marriage was doomed from the start. In the trailer for Euphoria Season 3, Maddie appeared at Nate and Cassie's wedding wearing a seductive green dress. Meanwhile, Cassie, who should have been the center of attention, was unable to maintain her composure. Her gaze kept avoiding others, and she couldn't even keep the most basic poise expected of a bride. As the scene shifted, Cassie frantically ran down the hallway, eventually collapsing in tears. It was clear that the wedding she fought for was already falling apart, and Maddie's green dress was no coincidence. Looking back, you'll notice a pattern. Every time Maddie exposes Cassie's lies, green is involved. Remember Lexi's play? When Cassie betrayed Maddie and tried to portray herself as the innocent victim, Maddie wore a green dress to the stage and slapped her across the face. Earlier, when Cassie secretly had an affair with Nate, lying to cover it up, Maddie wore a green top, which became the invisible knife that pierced through her lies. Now, 5 years later, Maddie reappears at Cassie's wedding, wearing green once again. That green dress has become more than just a symbol of judgment. It represents Maddie's transformation and revenge. Meanwhile, Cassie remains trapped in her obsession and denial, unable to break free. This time, Maddie doesn't need to say much. The green dress alone is enough to reveal all her secrets. The premiere of The Devil Wears Prada 2 was filled with awkward and chaotic moments. Anne Hathaway made a return with the red strapless dress she wore at the premiere 20 years ago. This time she paired it with extremely high platform shoes, needing assistance to walk, which made for a pretty funny scene. Paige DeSorbo wore a nearly identical black dress, almost like a red carpet reenactment of the classic look. Emily Blunt chose an ivory tulle dress. When she met Anne Hathaway, their voluminous skirts only allowed them to awkwardly embrace in mid-air, which raised the tension in the atmosphere. 76-year-old Meryl Streep was not to be outdone, wearing a striking red leather suit with black gloves, exuding a powerful presence. She even accidentally attempted to touch Emily Blunt's chest, making the atmosphere even more heated. Lady Gaga, the superstar, also attended. However, just as she was about to take the stage, a photographer accidentally fell down the stairs, causing a brief moment of chaos. Her high platform shoes made another appearance, but what really caught everyone's attention was her slightly protruding belly, sparking pregnancy rumors. Heidi Klum boldly wore an outfit without a bra, fully showcasing her unique personality. Sydney Sweeney, however, was absent from the event. Her originally planned 3-minute cameo was cut, becoming a topic of conversation among the crowd.
No one realized that less than 12 hours after Bang Si-hyuk, the founder of BTS, was arrested, leader RM immediately made 3 decisions that quickly recovered nearly $10 million in losses. The final decision was truly a masterstroke. When the news broke that Bang Si-hyuk had been arrested on charges of IPO fraud, BTS was instantly caught in a founder scandal, and their tour was almost canceled. At this critical moment, the leader stepped in. First, RM urgently halted all promotional materials tied to Bang Si-hyuk, cutting off the media's chance to associate personal fraud with top idols. He unified BTS's official stance, emphasizing that they were solely focused on music and their tour. Second, he reorganized the tour decision-making team, entrusting himself, Suga, and J-Hope with the authority to approve tour content and budgets. In one move, he froze Bang Si-hyuk's funding authority in the tour project. Finally, RM quickly contacted the media and sponsors of the US tour, stabilizing partnerships using the team's reputation. He promised additional stage creativity and exclusive interviews, and on the spot recovered millions in sponsorship losses. What do you think of RM? Feel free to leave your comments below.
Becky G's disregard for the mariachi band ended up costing Karol G nearly $500,000. During the second weekend of Coachella, Becky G was invited to perform on stage with an all-female mariachi band. However, she deliberately avoided interacting with them, and at the end of the performance made a clear statement: "We love our immigrants," pointing toward the band behind her, showing her discontent. Immediately, the production switched the shot, and the screens froze for several seconds, causing a significant visual error, which sparked considerable controversy. It is known that Karol G invested about $30 million into this performance, where every second mattered. This visual issue lasted about 5 seconds, resulting in an estimated $500,000 loss. On social media, fans quickly speculated that Becky G's actions were not accidental. Although the mariachi band plays traditional Latin music, its owners, Jose Hernandez and his wife, have publicly supported Trump and held anti-Latin immigration views. This stance undoubtedly made Becky G uncomfortable, and she chose to respond in this manner. Additionally, the band's owner's daughter, Crystal Hernandez, was captured giving Becky G a challenging look during the performance, which added more complexity to the situation. As a result, Karol G also faced some criticism, with fans questioning whether she should have been more careful in selecting her guests. Do you think Becky G's actions were accidental or intentional?
Do you know if my father, Brock Lesnar, doesn't retire, he won't live past 50? This thought terrified his daughter, because no one knows better than she does how fragile his body is. She said, beneath the beast persona, he endured countless nights of agony, clutching his abdomen, tossing and turning in unbearable pain. Lying on the table to prevent the pain from worsening, I saw him secretly take painkillers, but he acted as if nothing was wrong in front of my mom and me. I silently held back my tears, because I knew how fragile his health had become. I understand his love for wrestling, a passion deeply etched into his soul. He once told me he wanted to say goodbye to wrestling with dignity, even if it meant losing his final match. That's why, at WrestleMania 42, he chose to be defeated by Oba Femi. Watching him sit alone in the center of the ring, quietly shedding tears as he slowly took off the gloves and boots that had carried his legacy for decades, I broke down crying in the audience. As a daughter, I felt heartbroken for all the endless pain he endured over the years. I told myself, from now on, I just wish for him to be healthy and be my father. Let's cheer for them. Did you know? When First Lady Melania Trump fell while being escorted, Trump made 3 protective moves to shield her in a life-and-death situation. Just the day before yesterday, a shooting incident occurred at the White House Correspondents Association dinner. However, during the evacuation, First Lady Melania Trump fell, and Trump's actions were truly heartwarming. First, while being escorted, Trump suddenly noticed that Melania had fallen. He immediately stopped and bent down to check on her. But while bending down, he accidentally fell as well. Second, disregarding his own safety, he shielded Melania with his body. He immediately pulled her close, guiding her forward in the evacuation, worried she might get hurt again. Finally, because this was Melania's first time encountering in such a situation. She was filled with fear and anxiety. In the midst of the chaos, Trump sensed her tension and fear, so he slowed his pace to match hers, refusing to evacuate quickly. Once they reached backstage safely, he gently comforted her, waiting until her emotions calmed before holding her. Trump really knows how to protect, and our First Lady is truly lucky.